Well, hi there, Darlington. I'm glad to be with you today.
Okay.
Okay, fire
So
away.
before the music and the bands, who was young Manny Freiser? And when did songwriting first become part of your life?
Well, uh, first, let me say that for that information in more detail, you have to check out my memoir, Tracks in the Sands of Time, in which volume one, which covers from my birth until I went to the big city of Los Angeles in 1968. So it's there. Who I was just a kid who liked girls, and I listened to my little portable radio. It was a time when rock and roll was going strong, and I got the idea that I actually used to call up radio stations. They did this. I don't know if they did this where you are, but they did this in Arizona, in Tucson. You'd call up the radio station and say, I want to dedicate um, "Satisfaction" by the Rolling Stones to Margaret, who I love dearly. And so if you were lucky enough that they used yours, they would actually play the record and say, "Here's a record dedicated to Margaret by Manny," and it's "Satisfaction," like that. So I was one of those kids until I figured out I'd like to say it in my own words. I actually called a girl once, and I liked her so much that I didn't want to dedicate the song on the radio and take the chance that she wouldn't hear it. So I waited until the moment the record was playing on my radio, and that means sitting and waiting for hours. And I waited till it was uh what's the song? It was by the Everly Brothers, Dream. And I waited till that song came on the radio. I called her number and she answered. And I said, "Hi, Sandy. I want to dedicate this song to you." And then I put the phone up to the little radio. And it was pretty hysterical, actually. But I became one of these kids I wanted to say it for myself. And of course, the Beatles inspired that with a lot of kids. So I started writing songs to my girlfriends and to girls I wanted to be my girlfriends and stuff like that.
All right, thank you so much, Manny. So, how did the Grodes come together? And what made the band stand out in Tucson's music scene during the 1960s?
I didn't quite understand the second part of the question.
What made the band stand
Oh,
out
yes,
in
I got you. Well, the Grodes. Yeah, I after my first recording, I ran into a guy who went to school in Arizona named Jerry Kasnitz, who would go on to to start his own genre of music, bubblegum music. He was the guy responsible for all of that. But at this time, he was in the university, and he was from New York City, and he said, "Manny, you're going to be a star. You're going to be a star. I'm going to record you, and you're going to be a star." And when he left the university, he was kicked out of school. When he left the university, he told his roommate, who was turned out to be one of the biggest movie producers in the country, Jerry Bruckheimer. He said, "Brucky, got to find Manny a band because he needs to get some experience playing live." I didn't want to play live. I was only interested in recording. I wanted to do something that would last forever. It's fun in a band. It's an incredible experience to have that music lift you up. It's like a rocket ship. But when it's over, it's over. I wanted to do something that would last. And so Brucky tried to find me a band to work with. And finally, I met these guys. They were rehearsing, and I didn't much like them, and they didn't much like me. And so we became a band, the Grodes. And at first, we were awful, and we became pretty good friends because it's like you against the world. Um, Once we started getting good, then the fights started happening about, you know, who should lead the band and who was responsible for the success. The thing that made us stand out in Tucson was at our best, we were a crashing, loud Stones type of band. Uh, we didn't have the layered harmonies like the Beatles. Uh, we had the crash and rock and roll of the Rolling Stones. And people used to refer to us as that Stones band. And some people even claimed that we did Satisfaction better than the Rolling Stones. I doubt it. But we were a good rock and roll band.
All right. Thank you so much. So,
Mhm.
you wrote songs like "Let's Talk About Girls" and "Cry a Little Longer," which have become garage rock classics. What inspired your songwriting back then?
Oh, my songwriting was always inspired by girls. I'll be the first to admit it. And by love and lust and everything else. And in fact, the song I'm known for now, which I had no idea it was going to be a garage classic, um, is "Let's Talk About Girls." And I wrote that at the age of 19, and it still embodies probably my total philosophy of around girls. Um, I hate to say that, but it's probably true. Um, that's what inspired me, and I always wrote my songs, almost always wrote my songs to the people I was in love with or interested in. And over the years, they became a little more nuanced. I talked about, more things, but the songs are the same basically. They're ballads and rockers that are about love and lust and everything.
All right, Manny. So, every band has defining moments. What were some of your favorite memories from performing with the Grodes?
Well, there's some happy ones and some sad ones. Um, the first gig we ever played, I didn't even have a regular microphone. I used a little PA microphone to sing through. We were in a dark little room in a fraternity house. There was probably an inch of booze on the floor, and we didn't know the songs. But once the drummer and bass player started the song and we kicked in, it was like thunder, and it was just incredible. It was like flying. Um, we had a few gigs like that where they just were transcendent musically. I'll never forget them. I will never forget the first gig that we played with Patty, who I would later marry. She was a 16-year-old kid who was recommended to us by our manager. And I said to him, I said, "We're a Stones kind of band, Dan. We don't need a chick singer." But the minute she was 16 years old, quiet, very quiet, like a folk singer kind of girl. But when she opened her mouth, she sounded like Janis Joplin and Gracie Slick. That was incredible. The first gig we played with her singing lead was my last job as lead singer. But I did get to sing with her, and we used to sing love songs to each other. Those were always memorable on stage. But the audience went crazy over her, and that was very memorable. And then there was the night we broke up. We decided to break up. Um, we got into an argument, and all of the stuff came up. We were sitting outside. It was a hot desert night, probably 100 degrees at 8 o'clock. We sat out there in the courtyard of a motel, and we argued from maybe 8 in the morning until 4 in the morning as the sun was coming up. And it was so sad. I can't even tell you. We all knew it was over, and it was so hard to face. We had each decided to go our separate ways.
All right. So, you mentioned Patty Macron. So, Patty Macron became a key part of your band.
She
And
became a key
how,
part of my life. Yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
so how did she join? How did she join the Grodes? And what did she bring that changed the group sound?
A phenomenal voice. And she also brought with her an unexpected, she was, as I said, a very quiet girl, but she had a really laid back, kind of cute, bratty sense of humor that she brought with her. And she fit right in with us. We, we wondered if she would. In fact, in fact, we didn't, the guys in the band didn't want a chick singer so bad that when she came to her first rehearsal, the drummer put his drumstick through all the way through his drum and yelled, "I hate chick singers." And we looked at her because we knew that would be it. But instead of leaving, she just smiled like, "That's really amusing." And she was part of us right away, you know. And she brought that humor and calm. She brought a calm to the band, but she brought us really what she brought us was to a real professional level vocally.
Okay, thank you so much. So, you and Patty left Tucson for Los Angeles in search of bigger opportunities. What was going through your mind as you made that leap?
What was going through my mind when we left for the coast?
Yes.
There was a lot going through my mind. My first marriage was breaking up. I still loved my first wife, Jerry, but we knew it was over. We're still friends today. I'm still friends with Patty today, too. Um, but that was going through my mind, a regret about my first marriage, a real excitement that Patty and I were going to be together and work together and be together as a couple, and just an amazing amount of looking forward to what we were sure would be stardom together. By the way, there was something else going through my mind, and that
Okay.
was um, my parents' strong disapproval of the whole thing because I left college to do it, and they they were totally against it, and they were right, of course. But I wouldn't change anything. I've had the most amazing experiences, so I wouldn't change it. But of course, they were right in a practical sense.
All right, thank you so much. So, your memoir is filled with stories from an unforgettable era of rock and roll. What inspired you to finally put these memories into tracks in the sands of time?
Well, I'm kind of a character. I like to tell my stories. You know, in fact, the people I'm married to always say, "I've heard that story before." You know? So I tend to tell stories, and I've thought at some point, yeah, I'd love to write a book, but I could never do it because I have trouble enough writing a 2.5 minute song. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. If I just write each little story, just write a story here and just write another one and another one and another one, it's all going to add up to a book. And so that's what I did. And I wanted to talk about my memories, but what I never imagined was the intensity of being able to go back and look at my life through this exercise and get to know myself better and feel more pride in what I did and more disappointment in what I did too. But just to get a different picture of myself from a more objective viewpoint of writing about me, about the stories.
Okay, so looking back on your incredible journey, Manny, what do you hope readers and younger musicians take away from the story?
Well, a few things. I mean, I hope you enjoy the moment of reading it. I hope it's fun to read. I don't know if it is or not, but I hope it's fun to read. Some people have told me it is. So there's that. But I also hope that you see the the excitement and doubt and discomfort of setting off on a career that people didn't even think was a career, not knowing what was going to happen, but having the strength to follow it anyway. By the way, it wasn't strength. I couldn't help myself. You know, I just had to do it. It was pure magnetism of the business for me. I was drawn to it like a magnet. But and to see what is involved in it, it's not as simple as it seems. There's all kinds of ups and downs and sideways, and that stuff is it's important. It's common to all people, in the way that we all uh, grow up and try to find what we're good at, what we like, and go through the ins and outs of trying to make it happen. And so hopefully somebody will be given hope, say, hey, if he did that and then never, it took years and years to do that. Um, Maybe they'll be inspired. Maybe I'll inspire somebody to be strong enough to do it or to like it enough to do it. So that's what I hope people get from it.
All right, thank you so much, Manny. And is there a question you wish I would have asked you that I did not ask you?
Oh, well, we could talk for days. I mean, I enjoyed talking to you about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'd like specifically to tell you. Um, I would say, with regard to my writing process, I usually write to people I'm intimate with, or have some special thing I want to say to them. And I usually I write both the lyrics and the music. Usually, parts of the music come first, and then what's called the hook, um, the part that you remember first from a song. Uh, and I usually write that and some of the music, and uh, then I write the rest of the lyrics, filling out the song after that. And these days, I have a recording studio in my home. I'm lucky enough to have that, and I've put out more than 10 albums from here. They're available on YouTube and Spotify. Um, the music is. And I've been very fortunate to have a good friend who is an engineer, legendary engineer. In fact, he was my best friend who stole my ex-wife from me. Patty, the singer, um, Paul, the engineer, stole her from me. We're all good friends now. I thank them every day because without them, I never would have met my current wife of 36 years, Dr. Susie, the veterinarian. Um, Dr. Susie's incredible. And my daughter Sarah is even more incredible. And now, are you ready for this? I just became a grandfather. But that's as far as I'm going
Wow,
to go in that. Yeah.
thank you so much, Manny. Thank you for being. This has been a fascinating conversation. From the
Well,
birth
thank
of the
you.
group,
Thank you
from
so
the
much for
vibrant
having me.
underground rock scene of the 1960s, to stories behind your music and your new memoir. Thank you for taking us on this journey, Manny.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, Darlington.
And thank you to all my listeners as well. You guys are the reason why we're able to do this every day. And until next time, I will see you guys again. So, Manny, for those who would like to check out your work and check out your memoir, how can they connect with you?
Well, they can connect with me on my website, Manny Freiser songs.com. They can find my music on Spotify and YouTube, and some videos and some podcast interviews, and and there's ways to contact me at my website. So there are ways, and I look forward to hearing from you all.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too, sir. Take care.